Hello, so I'm Brittni Gustaf, and I'm a senior software engineer here at Quant-S. And I'm on the measure team. So you guys have been hearing a lot about advertise, but I'm on the other side of the company. So I've been here for just over 4 years now, and since I've started, we've had a lot of changes on the measure team, especially in how we go about creating products and features, how we design them, and then how we actually implement them. And it's improved for a lot since that time, so I'm going to kind of get into why, like how we've made those improvements, and yeah, bring my leader's knowledge to you guys, I guess. Oh. Okay, so measure has kind of been neglected since I started. We're not the side of the company that brings in the money, right? So like we provide the data that provides the side that brings in the money, but it's really hard to quantify like features that we're doing if it's actually having like an impact on your company or not. So because we were focusing so much on what will make the company grow, measure kind of got passed to the side. We didn't have a lot of like people looking into what features we should have to continue to improve measure. So what we did instead is we kind of came up with what we thought people would want. We didn't really ask them very much what they wanted. We just kind of were like, this would be cool and probably would help. Let's create it. As you can probably guess, that didn't work super well. We spent a lot of engineering time creating products that like no one actually really wanted. And it was pretty disappointing when you spend all this time as an engineer and you're like, wow, I made this. And it's like, wow, no one wants that. And you're like, okay. So the company, soon after I started, was like, all right, we're doing this wrong. We need to change something up. So we did a reorg. And I remember the day after we announced that we had a reorg really well. We had a full day meeting with our new leader of measure. His name is Sam. And one of the things that stuck out most to me during that meeting was he started telling a story about his acquaintance that he had previously. Don't quote this to him, by the way. I am doing this from my memory from a long time ago, but I think I have it pretty well because it was so kind of terrifying to me. So what he told us was that he had an acquaintance, and what this acquaintance did was he went and spent the least amount of effort he could to create a prototype, and then went out to find customers for his prototype, selling it as a product. And he would be like, here, look at this awesome product we have. And the customer would be like, wow, that's really cool. It would be really awesome if it had this feature. And he'd be like, okay. So then he'd spend the bare minimum amount of time implementing that feature into his prototype. And then he'd keep going back to clients and being like, look at this awesome product we have, until he got enough like investment into his product to then actually create the product. And I was like, while he's telling me the story, I'm just like, what is happening? Like, this is super sketchy. Are we going to be lying to our clients here and telling them we have products we don't actually have? Well, he quickly assured me that that's not what our goal was, but that we should have a client-first sort of approach to things where we spend minimal effort, create a prototype, show it to the client, and get feedback before we waste all of this time on it. And it was this mindset that led us to the Measure Hackathon. So how the Measure Hackathon works and how it's slightly different from other hackathons is that we would actually get we tried to get our diverse and key clients into the actual office. We just brought them in, and in the morning we'd spend 3 hours with them, just asking them questions about what they do in their job and how could it be improved, and then trying to come up with ideas for how our software could improve it. So after these 3 hours working with them, you'll probably recognize a lot of these from one of our earlier slides, because they're the big ones, right? So after this 3 hours, they went and got on a bus and went to go do fun clienty stuff. And the engineers got stuck in the office for 24 hours to try and put this idea into an actual functioning-ish prototype, and that is at least demoable. So this creates two different experiences. Yeah. So yeah, the clients come here They're like, oh, here are my problems. All right, cool, you guys work on that, and we're going to go up and get literally wined and dined and party it up until 24 hours later, which they'll come back, and then hopefully we have solved all of their problems. On the other hand, you have the engineering experience. Not quite as glamorous. As you can see, you get really creative with what kind of seating you're going to sit in. I love this because it's like, how many different seats can you try? But you need to be comfortable for 24 hours, and it takes a lot of work to be comfortable for 24 hours programming. And then you also gain a very unhealthy dependency on caffeine so that you can function throughout the entire time. All right. I don't know who I'm kidding, like, we all love hackathons, and we all know it. Luckily for us, the company literally butters us up, and they give us tons of stuff while we're doing our hackathon. They're like, we love you guys for working. Here, have all your favorite things. And I feel like they literally catered this food to me, like sushi. They literally bring in sushi chefs, and they make sushi for us. They give us acai bowls, which are like my favorite thing in the world. Pizza, it's like amazing. And they also give us like tons of other stuff like swag. I was going to wear my sweatshirt because it's really nice, but it's way too hot. And we get massages. But one of the best things that we get is that you really get to know like people who work in your organization that you don't really work with. Like, it's a lot of bonding when you're trying to solve these problems really quickly and you're all working in the same code base for 24 hours on the same thing. And we also like to take breaks, keep the brain lubricated. We've gone midnight drinking, which is always a lot of fun. So the client wins, they get wined and dined, the engineers win, the company's trying to butter us up a ton, and the company wins as well because we've had a lot of really successful features come out of this. So here we have something that came out of our first Measure Hackathon, actually. Oh, I forgot to tell you how you win. So the clients, they get a hypothetical amount of money that they can spend on each prototype, so each project. And whoever gets the most money, we actually try and turn into a functioning feature on the website. So this is our first one, and it's one of the most successful products now at Quantcast. People really like it. And then if you guys are interested in learning more about like how you should prototype things, be customer first, you can check out our blog post. We have the last 2 years up there, and we have some cool videos that give you like the full feel of the entire thing. Not 24 hours long, just 5 minutes, but yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brittni.